Hey everybody, it's Eric from EPAutos.com, your libertarian car guy. They just dropped off a new Prius hybrid for me to test drive, and if you've seen this, it's nothing like the previous Priuses that date back, about 20 years. Up until now, Priuses had been many things, but they weren't sporty, and they certainly didn't look it either. They looked kind of like the vehicular incarnation of Mrs. Doubtfire, for people who remember that fine movie starring Robin Williams. But I'm not hating on the old Prius at all. I'm actually one of the few people who isn't a leftist who like the old Prius, because I like efficient, light cars that get great gas mileage. I think that they're sensible. You know, I've got a muscle car, but driving a muscle car every day is not the ticket unless you want a fast road to bankruptcy or you're wealthy enough to be able to afford to drive a car like that every day. So, you know, being able to drive a car that gets 50 plus miles per gallon, that's pretty cool. So I dig that. Anyway, you know, fast forward 20 years, and the Prius had a lot of competition from a lot of other hybrids. In fact, probably about half the cars on the road now are hybrids to one degree or another. And so the whole gas mileage thing doesn't necessarily sell as well as it used to. And of course, electric cars have come along, and people are in awe of the quickness and the performance of the electric cars. So what Toyota did, which is a really impressive thing, is to give you a kind of a have your cake and eat it too scenario. This new redesigned Prius is much quicker than the original. The original one took about 11 seconds to get to 60. This one will get to 60 in about 6 seconds, which is astounding because it has about 200 horsepower, just shy of that, depending on whether you go with front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. 200 horsepower out of a Prius, that's pretty spectacular. It's kind of like a latter-day incarnation of a V8 Vega in many ways, and that's, you know, that's not much of an exaggeration. If you're old enough to remember the original muscle car era, and even into the 70s and the 80s, any car that could get to 60 in about 6 seconds was considered pretty quick. But there are very few cars that get to 60 that quickly that also get close to 60 miles per gallon, which is the other thing that's remarkable about the Prius. The mileage of this thing is actually higher than it was before. So to repeat, they've increased the power, greatly improved the performance, and managed to increase the gas mileage at the same time. Now, the only downside is that it's no longer quite as inexpensive a car as it used to be. The base price is a little over $28,000. So, you know, we're pushing $30,000 now. And while it's great to have a car that gets, you know, mid-50s on average, it doesn't do you any good if you can't afford it. And as I talk about quite often these days, people are economically squealing. They're oppressed. You know, it costs $100 to get what $20 used to buy at the grocery store. The cost of insuring a car has doubled for most people. The cost of everything is through the roof. So it becomes more difficult to spend $30,000 on any car, even a car that gets 50 miles per gallon. What I'd really like to see, and I don't know whether it's feasible, would be for Toyota to produce an ultra lightweight hybrid that really did focus on both efficiency and affordability. I think probably if they did that, they could come up with something that they could sell for, I don't know, probably 16 or 17,000 bucks that would get at least 50 something miles per gallon, and maybe even better than that. Now, it wouldn't get to 60 in 6 seconds, but it would be something that lots of people could afford to buy, and I think that would be great. And again, I'm in no way disparaging this 25 Prius at all. I like it a lot. Very little about it that I don't like, in fact, and I'll have more about that up on the site, EPAutos.com. But I just wanted to offer up a little commentary about it to put things into context. Anyway, I hope this was of some interest. If you like what I do, please encourage other people to check out my Rumble channel, and also, of course, to come down to EPAutos.com and see what we've got going on there, and hopefully we'll have something new for you soon.